we can do a recap because
Yeah.
we have that ability. So started the stream. Welcome back, everybody, to another session. Oh, I should throw in some music. That's lacking something. Let's do milestone music. Yeah. Okay, so previously, you guys returned to the guild after your long journey up north that took, I guess, like 2 months in the end, to find that Mossstone had radically changed since you were last there. Not only has the guild been sort of upgraded and the structure of the building completely rearranged for new flow of traffic, but also the city itself has grown significantly, including an expanded port and numerous buildings being constructed simultaneously out in the various sectors of the city. You witnessed, you had a long conversation with Marin about his strange sort of time loop-de-loop fate, and then also at one point harassed a vendor who sells drift globes and broke up his marriage. Aside from
That wasn't my fault.
wasn't it?
No, you said that there was something there. I went to investigate.
All right.
Just looking for love.
And,
No.
and so
I didn't break up their marriage. I was just the inciting incident of their breakup.
Right.
That's...
It was on the rocks for a while. Let's be.
You can't blame me for all of that.
True. I was just the rat in the room.
Yeah. Quite literally. So then we sort of broke off with Isolde Vosner and Beryl heading to Candlekeep, and Beryl using his teleportation circle to arrive sort of outside of the gates and to approach, and you guys gave away 2 of your Netherese books that you got all the way back from Jakoba, so shout out to that throwback. And you then went into the Candlekeep library. Veyril sort of left you to meet with a ensemble of wizards, and you went to do research with the help of Parmac, your young and sort of clumsy scribe who was assigned to you, who brought you books all day and to very little avail, as you guys are not trained scholars. And then we cut to Damon's adventure with Bob Newman out on the sea hunting sea monsters, where they were attacked by a kraken, which Damon hit with a bolt, like tethering it to the ship before attacking it, unfortunately being swallowed and mangled before recovering, and with the help of Gallus and Traldenda and I want to say Xander, and Bob, you guys were able to kill the Kraken, save Damon's life, and Bob set to making Damon a new robotic arm. Any questions about all that?
Nope.
So there's still sort of a hanging issue of the shopping, which we can get to sort of at the end of all of these little narrative arcs, and then I'll sort of throw you into the next stage of our story, which I've already told all of you will lead you to Chult, but I'll motivate it so it doesn't just like you guys just get on a boat and leave. So we have 2 arcs that still need to be fulfilled. One is Terran's visit to Rusty, and the other is Veril's visit in Candlekeep. That will tie into the rest of the group in Candlekeep. who wants to go first?
I can go.
Okay. Let me find him. Okay. So you how do you get to Rusty?
I assume I like take a boat to that town where everybody was dead, but probably aren't dead anymore.
Very well. So you just sort of go up to the docks and try to bribe somebody with or pay somebody some cash to take you?
Yeah, just like, or see if there's like a passenger or a ship that's going there anyways, and like hop on as a passenger. So yeah, I'd pay somebody.
Okay. You make your way down to the docks and see sort of a normal. You actually see more than a normal hustle and bustle. You see sort of an insane hustle and bustle. This place is not sort of the small port town that you're used to it being. It is now a extremely powerful mercantile hub, and for the first time, you realize that Mossstone has the potential to grow beyond even the size of Waterdeep, which is, I think you also went to Waterdeep with the rest of the group.
Yeah.
So you saw that, and you're starting to look around and for the first time see sort of the bones of Waterdeep already starting to form here.
Awesome.
And,
I'm impressed.
Yeah, and amidst all of that chaos, you notice that a new structure has been arisen in the docks district, and it says, like travel and like accommodations, like basically a place to go and buy a ticket to a destination.
Oh, nice. That's super awesome. Taryn is very thrilled about that because he didn't want to go interact with the bartender. So he goes there.
Okay. You find a guy at the counter who just asks you, well, where would you like to travel to?
I tell him the name of the town that I'm blanking on right now.
Well, Rusty is not out of town. Rusty's, I guess I can mark it on the map for you. Rusty's den, or sort of like lair, is sort of here. I don't know why it says new text, but I meant to just write an X on there.
Like the top corner, right?
Yeah, I don't know why it's. Let me.
Yeah, I know. I just remember when we visited Rusty the first time, we went to we saw him, and then we were a fairly quick trip from that town.
It was like a day's journey from this town over here, which I don't even have on the map anymore. It was way more than a day's journey.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why well, back in those days I was pretty lax on travel, so we let you do 120 miles like a day or two. Anyways, yes, it is not close to that. It would be much faster to go by boat.
All right, yeah, and then well, like I don't want to like tell like 19 sailors where Rusty's lair is.
Sure.
So, but are there like landmarks like within like that are like a day's travel away?
You could get well, you could basically just be asked to drop off on the coast anywhere, and just walk the rest of the way.
All right. Yeah, I'll ask to be dropped off on the coast like a day away. So like it's still a decent distance away. So like the sailors with me won't.
Okay. So after some very confused looks, they agree to take you to your destination. You're strange, just wanting to be let off on a random, kind of like abandoned sea coast.
I'm also a dragonborn with multicolored scales and a staff that's literally generating a snowstorm around me. So
yeah. So they decide.
I feel like a little bit of weirdness is expected.
Yeah. So they seeing you just like covered in all sorts of wealth, ask for. They sort of like look around each other, and go, 50 gold.
All right. He's not in the mood to like barter, so he's just like, yeah, sure.
And they all like, even if you rolled any level of insight, they betray that they are like feel like they totally got away with the steal here. And so they're like, oh yeah, sure, yeah, whoa. And they
It like feels to Taryn like when you're like with a kid and the kid feels like they're doing something clever, but you just don't want to fight him, so that you're like, good job, and pat him on the head.
yeah, that's essentially
It's kind of like
what you
that
do.
with him. Yeah.
And so you are dropped off on the shore of the like Starspire Peninsula, and within a day's walk of Rusty's lair.
All right. Yeah, then he'll just kind of set off towards the lair at like a leisurely place. Like he's not in a rush, and he's kind of full of thought. So he's just kind of heading towards it along the beach. Until he gets there, or there's a random encounter where I get murdered by like 17 demons.
Roll for initiative. 4 krakens come up on the shore. No. Yeah, so
I'm just pumped that they're not immune to cold damage for once, you know?
yeah, that is nice. Yeah, so you make your way. It's a nice, warm, but walk. You're sort of just like taking a walk on the beach, but just for fucking ever. Like it's a super long shoreline. You do it for like a whole day. And as you get closer, it becomes very apparent that you're closer, as like the water and fauna nearby are like, and flora and fauna are like more alive and bright and sort of full of life as you get closer and closer to the mouth of this cave, which you enter into as you know how to do, and you sort of swim through the water underneath into the lower layer and enter into the main chamber, where you find Rusty sitting on a pile of gold and silver and platinum, and he looks like this. And he sort of looks at you inquisitively and says, Taryn, welcome back.
Taryn kind of nods and goes, it's good to be back.
Have you brought that staff to add to my treasure?
This is the staff for the guild staff, so I was hoping that I would keep it for a while.
I know that staff. I am merely kidding, Taryn.
Taryn kind of laughs. It's like, oh, thank God type of thing.
You forget I told you what that staff looked like in the first place.
Yeah. Yep. Arathator had it in the north.
A foolish child of a dragon, Arathator.
Yeah. It was strange that, it was strange that him being a white dragon thought to wield it, though.
Indeed. White dragons are known for being quite dumb.
Indeed. Do you know if he himself was simply more clever, or do you think there could have been something deeper going on?
There are magic items which can increase the intelligence of any creature. Perhaps he stumbled upon one.
Just like a note on the side, I know we got like some intellect, some magic item that did that. Did we get it from the Arathator loot?
Yup.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense then. All right. Taryn would. I don't know if Taryn would put that together though.
Yeah, you could make a intelligence check or investigation check as Terran to see if he would piece it together.
Nope. Like, yeah, that's super weird. Maybe he did come up with one of those. That could explain it.
And he looks at you and says, "Tell me, that mark on your body, what does it mean to you?"
He kind of looks down, and it's he's referring to the devil mark. So Taryn will kind of sigh and say something like, "Mistakes were made. In the ruins of Alusk, there was a portal open." Then he'll kind of tell Rusty the story of what happened.
He nods. And how much do you tell him about how you got the mark and your experience with the sort of shimmery god portal things?
I feel like Taryn wouldn't hide that from Rusty, just because he, at this point, in Rusty's lair, surrounded by Rusty in all of his glory, he wouldn't feel like he'd be able to like hide things from him successfully, and he also feels like if anyone can help him, it's Rusty, so he'll probably be as like honest as possible.
So, Rusty, in the middle of your story, says, "Tell me, what did Asmodeus tell you?"
Not much. Let me go back to my notes. He I don't see these. Asmodeus, he told me that with this mark he wanted me to send him souls. And that I was a good accomplishment for him to have gotten into his
And why
lair.
were you a good accomplishment for him?
I was supposed to be chosen.
And he leans in and says, "By whom?"
Bahamut.
He leans back and sighs and says, "Very well. What would you like to be done, Terran, chosen of Baphomet?"
I'd really like not to go to hell. I don't know if there's a way to break the deal or bind my soul in a way that it would never leave this plane in order to fulfill the deal.
"Then I will help you, Terran." And he begins to he switches into a humanoid form and looks like this. As he switches into this form, he turns to you and says, "I have not filled this body for many years. This will be the last time, I suppose." And he scrawls out on a scroll and begins writing something. And then he turns to you and says, "This is something that I was meant to fulfill. So Do not think of it as a great gift. And in return, I hope one day you can free me from my bind, as I did you. And he begins writing out a scroll that is a deal with Bahamut to sell his soul in exchange for yours.
So wait, it's a deal with Bahamut.
Oh, not Bahamut, sorry, with Asmodeus.
Asmodeus. Okay. How can I save you from this? Like, one day.
One day, when you have the power, you may kill Asmodeus. I will never be powerful enough to do it myself, but as the chosen of Bahamut, you may be able to. And then he sort of turns to you again and says, another thing. You will eventually need the staff to unlock the portal at Silvery Moon. I still have it. Come to me when you are done with all of the other portals, and we will finish what we started 1,500 years ago.
Terran's eyes like harden when he says like kill Asmodeus, and he like seemed like the possibility never entered his mind until that point. Then he kind of nods resolutely. Outside of like metagame, what this means is that when Rusty dies, his soul will go to Asmodeus, but he's still around and kicking.
Correct.
Okay. So. Okay, awesome. Yeah, when everything is in order, I will come to you again.
He nods.
You were, before we left to the north, you were monitoring the pirate situation?
Yes. That has been a curious situation. Over the last 2 months, things have evolved in a very strange direction.
How so?
Well, it used to be the case that the undead pirates were ravaging the land, killing off any competing pirates, and adding them to their numbers, growing exponentially. But now, things have calmed down. It appears that another necromancer has taken to the seas and has ousted the previous one, and this one has no intent on conquering all of the ocean.
What does he seem to be doing?
I do not know, but he collects a very curious number of undead. A number that is not possible by normal wizarding means. It indicates something different to me.
You think it's divine?
Not quite, though I have seen such magic before. When you come back from your next quest, talk to me and I will speak to you more at length about it.
Terran nods. Says, I will. Be sure to do so.
As for now, you still owe me a great debt. I see you have wielded that dagger well, and you have incorporated the essence of a number of dragons into your soul now.
I have.
Well,
With any luck, it will help me on my journey and then the eventual final battle.
indeed. Well, if that is all, Terran, I wish you luck, and farewell.
Terran nods and says, thank you for all you've done. And then Terran will take his leave.
Make a history check for me.
All right. Street. Oh shit.
Based off of his appearance and based off the description that Damon gave, very detailed methodological, like schematic description of every single wizard from the original sealing of the circle in the bottom of the guild. You recognize this man to be Azor, one of the wizards. And he turns back into dragon form and sits among his horde. His contract is sort of out on a pedestal, and you get the feeling that he is awaiting a visit with a devil.
All right.
And is there anything else you want to do for your side mission?
I think that will be it. So yeah, he'll take his leave and head out.
Okay, and then it's sort of a long walk back home because he didn't pay for back transport.
Yeah, he's fine with that. He's got a lot on his mind, and
yeah. So you take a long, couple week journey back to Mossstone, and you sort of go on a little self-reflective pilgrimage, and that's Terran's arc. For meta purposes, I think that means that you are going to lose all your warlock levels. So we'll have to sort of like adjust and figure out how that all works.
Okay, cool.
I do have a thought, though I don't know if it's coming out. There's this new source book coming out that's all about dragons. I don't know if there is a warlock, but patron that's a dragon. If there is in that, then we could see maybe if that's a route for Terran to take. I think it'd be pretty funny to be a dragon-born dragon sorcerer with a dragon a patron.
Patron, yeah.
But it is Dungeons and Dragons, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll entertain that in the future. But I think for now, what Rusty has done is basically just step in and take the burden away from you. But that
does he still have the mark?
That's a great question. We'll have to talk about that. I'll have to figure out exactly the logistics on that in the future. But yeah, you won't be able to hurl people through hell.
Okay, yeah.
Wait, do I have the other mark ready? Let's. 1 sec. God, I'm good. Yeah, I do. Let's see. Yeah, one day on your journey, you are looking down at something and you recognize that your mark has begun to change forms, has begun to like rearrange itself. And after a week, you feel your warlock powers leave you, and you now have... Let's see if this works. That should be on features. Yeah. I think that's right. Yeah. Okay. So feel free to read that. It's called Bahamut's Mark.
All right.
Man, I'm prepared. So that is the Terran arc. Now we switch back up to Candlekeep, and where we left off in Candlekeep was that you guys had sort of arrived. Varel had left to go do a meeting, and that left Isolde and Vosner to try and do scholarly research in the world's greatest library with the help of Parmac, and to very little avail. Now we can cut, as long as Dylan's here, to Varel's meeting.
I'm here like a...
Oh shit, you're a robot now.
No.
Oh, now you're fine.
Okay. Yeah,
curious.
the Wi-Fi access is not 100%, but I'm doing my best.
All right, I believe in you. So what happens is, Varel sort of approaches and is told that he needs to meet with the wizards, and they sort of split ways. And Varel walks sort of a normal, or like a route that he knows very well through Candlekeep, having lived here for many years before. He sort of travels down long hallways with like beautiful 40-foot ceilings with marble, and just through ornate doors, past numbers of scribes and guards, eventually arrives in a very large open room with sort of ornate, arcane-looking symbols and sculptures hanging from the ceiling. And he steps in and finds himself in a room with a number of powerful wizards. The first of which to greet you is this guy, who says, Varel, I am Amaz, the High Wizard of Narfel. Good to have you.
I very perceptibly bow
Uh,
and say, "This could be-"
okay. You're sort of like sped up robot voice, so I'm trying to. You imperceptibly bow?
Oh, I very perceptibly bow.
Oh, okay.
Very-
So he bows back at you and says, well, the award for your masterhood has come today, so be prepared. The ceremony will be short and sweet. And he kind of directs you into the center of the room where a number of wizards are sort of talking amongst themselves. Make a perception roll.
Okie doke.
Yeah. You notice a few things. First of all, there is a figure that you have never seen before, who looks like this. Now, the rest of you know this man to be Joris Azuremantle, who is the leader of the Spell Guard in Silvery Moon. And what's that? And then next to him is this figure, who Varel, you do recognize to be the secretly alive and well head of the Wizards Alliance, Illustrial Silverhand. She's holding in her hand a staff made of gold and silver and mithril, and atop it is a sweet-looking unicorn.
Upon seeing her, I smile, this time imperceptibly, and say, Mr. Silverhand, it's wonderful to see you again.
And she turns to you and smiles and says, Varel, welcome back. And sort of steps towards the center of the room where you see on the table is a box, and she pulls it open, or a chest, and she grabs it and brings it over to you and hands it to you.
I take it and bow. And it doesn't feel quite like the time to open it. So I kind of stand expectantly, assuming
She
ceremony.
yeah, so she says, Varel, for your service to the Wizards Alliance, you have been granted the rank of Master. This is your robe. You are to wear it and represent the Wizards Alliance wherever you go.
I put on the robe.
Yeah. What does it look like?
So, what the heck? Let me see if I can share it without crash and everything. Here we go. Copy. So I'll post it here in general chat. So unlike my old robes, this one is slightly more ornate, dark purple as is custom. And it appears to be, kind of a solid color, but when the light hits it just right, you'll notice variously shaped eyes with woven out of material that's very dark and black, as though you're seeing into the void of space. Yeah, and otherwise it fits quite nicely.
Yeah. And Illustrial says, with this robe, you shall see what others cannot see. Let that protect you in times of need.
I shall do my best.
And she turns to the rest of the room, and they all sort of clap quietly, very reserved, and say, very well. Come talk with me in private. If there's anything you'd like to discuss, now would be the time. And so she sort of leads you over to the side, sits you down next to like a nice cozy campfire, and she sort of just awaits your questions.
See here. I say, as you well know, I've been working with a squad from the guild, as per Mistress' orders. Do you suppose I ought to continue aiding them as I have been? Or is there a particular direction they nudged?
She pauses for a moment and thinks and says, yes, you are to continue working for Marin. He is one of us and is in great need of your assistance in the current future and in the future to come.
See, been much talk at the city of Ether, the old ancient Netherese city. Marin, I understand, has been there a few times, and the squad as well seems to have some connection there. Do you have any reason?
I kind of lost what you were saying there. You said the city of Ythrun, Marin has spent some time there?
And the squad as well has a number of threads tying them to Etherine. Do you expect that to be a stop on the journey ahead?
She nods and says, you will eventually make your way to Ythrun. But that time is not yet.
I see. I had expected as much. Are you and the rest of the Wizard Alliance doing well then? Are things going as they ought to be?
She takes a moment to think of how to answer that, and she says, there are curious reports all around of people attempting to undo what it is that we are trying to do. Joris gives us unsettling news about agents working in Silvery Moon to undo the power of Tarn. But nothing concrete. Something we are always looking for and attempting to deal with, but alas, it is a never-ending struggle.
Is this the cult of Cyric again, or something new?
I wouldn't put it past Cyric cultists to get involved in something like this, but I also wouldn't pin it all on them. They are but a small player in this entire scheme.
See, Beryl kind of thoughtfully takes that all in, trying to identify who our threat is here.
She smiles and says, Mistra tells me you spoke with her again recently.
Only briefly.
She gets sort of like a mischievous look on her face and says, well, you should be ready next time you speak with her. I imagine she has a boon waiting for you.
My eyebrows raise imperceptibly.
She perceives it anyways.
She would, goddammit. I say, well, I very much look forward to that meeting. The last time was too early, I was told.
Yes, you do not have mastery of the spells you need to in order to receive her boon, but in time.
On the matter of boons, I thank you for this, and I gesture towards my robes.
It is well earned, and it is about time. You have been working for us for a very long while now.
So I intend to continue to do so. If there's anything you need, anything at all, I'm rather easy to reach.
Perhaps. I will think of you if I need anything, but your journey is a long one, and I needn't distract you from it.
I understand. And Meryl stands up and bows. Says it. Is there anything else?
No, there's nothing else. Good luck to you, Beryl.
And you as well. And I exit to find Vosner. So I'm assuming they're up soon.
Yeah, and you come back to them after like a long day of research has just gone shitty. And
Vosner has like it's as if he's like sort of comatose, and he has like the little anime ghost kind of escaping from his mouth because he's done so poorly.
nice.
Sad sight. Yeah.
And
Say,
oh sorry.
I say hello, friends. How are things?
Could be better. As much help as the assistants are with the fetching of the books, it is hard just to find what you're looking for in a single book.
See.
And you see this figure as the young Parmac who's been helping you, and he says, I've tried really hard. I'm sorry, I'm not very good at this. And he sort of like awkwardly walks out of the room carrying like 15 books.
Oh. You're doing very well. I'll just call out after him.
Hold just a second, young sir.
He turns around with 10 books in his hand.
And I say, what level of access have these two been given to the library?
Of only the restricted books, or the unrestricted books.
See, do us all a favor, and if you could, search the material in the restricted section as well.
I am advised only to bring those to you, sir.
It's all the same. Do that. Then.
Very well. We will begin tomorrow. He sort of
Is there a place for
walks
like drinking and winding down after a long day of reading?
No. There is no like local tavern in Candlekeep. You get the feeling that that kind of activity is frowned upon.
Well, I can't read anymore today. But, is there, like, what do people do here when they're not working?
Not working. Beryl looks at you with a raised eyebrow. Such a thing is rare. Generally, they're eating or sleeping if they're not working.
Oh. Well then, I suppose we will just go back to our quarters and, maybe we could play some cards or a game of dice. I'm sure my flask has like a little bit in it, but we could order a nice meal, I assume they have nice meals here.
We do eat well.
Good, we'll do that then.
And eventually you are brought by like the servants like very substantive but very bland food that's like all about efficiency and calories. It's like the most there's like no spice to it. It's just like mere calories.
When I said we eat well, and then we're well nourished alone. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Thrilling, yeah. But yeah, the next day she's ready to go hard reading some restricted books.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys head to bed, and you find yourself sleeping in Varel's quarters. He has sort of his own chamber that's full of books, where instead of sleeping on a bed, he would just sit like cross-legged, sort of surrounded by his scrolls, and do his 4 hours of meditation. And while you guys are all asleep, um, Vosner, you begin to have a dream.
Ooh, dream sequence.
Da-da-da-da. Vosner, you have a really rough sleep, sort of tossing and turning, moving all about in the bed. You don't wake anybody up with this, but it's sort of like you've got a fever, so you just don't feel well. And eventually, you find yourself in your dream in a very dark place. You're walking alone through the library, sort of the space that you spent all day today. And it's sort of like one of those dreams where, because you spent all day there, it's sort of stuck in your brain and you feel like you can't escape. And at first you think it's that, but then you start to realize that the library is not like it's been in your day of studying. Endless studying for you. Everything instead is coated with a fine filament of dust. You look around, and there is no indication of the presence of active movements or libraries or flying scribes looking for books. Instead, it is fairly quiet and still. And while there are candles lit, they don't seem to provide the light that you would need to illuminate the room. So they only cast strange sort of shadows all about. And your eyes are drawn to a figure in the center of the room in a dark robe, looking away from you, sitting at a table, paging through a book, sort of looking at it and then sort of tossing it aside. And he speaks to you. He says, "You won't find your answer here, Vosner. Only time will reveal the truth to you. And when it does, it'll be too late. It was always too late." And then he laughs to himself and throws another book on the ground, sending a flurry of dust in the air. And he turns slightly towards you, and out of sort of the half glimpse you can get of his visage, you see a glowing red eye.
Glowing red eye. Could I make out any features?
No, the rest of his face is dark and concealed. All you can see is the glowing eye because of the light. And you notice in just a flash, a flicker of green electrical light sort of hover around him, as though he has like this aura that occasionally dissipates a little bit of energy. And he looks sort of in your direction for you to respond.
What truth do you speak of? What's coming?
The only truth. And then he stands up. "Nothing you'll find here, Vosner." And then he just tips over the table, sending the books scurrying on the floor. And he turns to you now fully, and his eyes are both bright red and begin to glow even more menacingly. He says, "Now wake up. Your friend is about to be murdered." And you wake.
I immediately wild shape into a wolf.
Sweet. You awake here. And you are in bed in this little study that's been sort of assembled for you. Can everybody see this okay?
I'm having it load in right now.
Yeah, I set it so everybody could observe Vosner, Zolda, and Varel, so people who aren't here can see it, but I might have made a mistake, so please let me know if you can't see the scene. Okay, so Varel is in his chamber, sitting on his sort of mat, meditating, surrounded by books, and all of the sudden, from behind him, a figure appears out of the darkness and attacks him.
I'm currently a wolf, right?
Yeah, I'll turn you into a wolf right away. Oops, that should have been at advantage. And, Varel, you wake up to a knife or a short sword stabbing into your back. And you take 33 damage as this blade pierces through your new robe and into your chest, and it fills you with poison. It also does assassinate damage, so let me add that.
What a bastard. Too late now to react.
Yeah, you were asleep for this part, or meditating.
Got you.
Ah, damn it. Sneak attack with crit.
Holy shit, dude.
So that, he hurls this, he stabs this dagger deep into your spine, and you wake up gasping with a dagger in your back, and we now roll initiative. Oh shit, he got a high one. Oh fuck, Varel got a high one too.
Yeah, buddy. He's
His
gonna
initiative
die.
is higher than yours, though, or his dex is higher, so he's gonna go before you.
Bastard. Well, I'm dead.
It depends. He doesn't have advantage on this attack. So, let's say, so that was the initial attack, and then we'll say Varel is surprised. Isolde is not even awake yet, but Vosner, you woke up right before this happened, so it is. We're gonna skip ahead. It is your turn on this first surprise round.
Okay. Let me refresh my screen because my screen is gray. But essentially, I'll bust through the door.
Okay.
Since I heard it.
Yeah. So I'll open both doors for you. You can move 10 and then whatever your feet is. 50
Yeah,
feet?
I think it's 30 feet or so.
You have 50 feet as a wolf, so
Oh, 50 feet as a wolf.
you
okay.
can't quite get to him without dashing to get to him.
All right. Well, I guess I want to get up like right next to him, so that if he tries to flee, then I'll sentinel him.
Yeah, you can do that with dash.
Okay, here we are. Let me move my.
Oh, sorry, I had it paused. My bad. That was my
Okay. Let me put both on top and then just take them both. Oh, come on.
I'll put you in there for you.
Okay, yeah, my the map sort of grayed out, but I have like all access to my.
Yeah, just select the person on the top left and then the box, and then unselect whatever you've got selected, and it should give you back your vision.
Okay.
Because you probably have your wolf token selected, and that doesn't have vision.
Okay, that's why.
Okay, so this figure, who you now recognize to be Parmac, stabs Varel in the back and whispers into Varel's ear, You'll never complete it. And it is now his turn. As a wolf comes bounding in the door, he tries once more to slash at Beryl from behind.
Alright, do I still have my reaction?
You do have a reaction.
Okay. As soon as I load in, I will sentinel attack him.
Yeah, go ahead and sentinel attack him.
Okay, almost there. Nice.
Would I be able to chrono shift that as
Very
well?
mean. Else features. Oops, let me
I think it's just a
select the
normal
wolf.
attack. You don't need
Yeah,
to do
no, I
any
need to
features.
select the wolf. There we go.
Yeah.
And since he's within, well, no, I hit him anyway. I have advantage, I think.
Okay. So he tries to attack Beryl, and you try to like intervene and knock him prone, but he resists, able to, even though you bite his one arm, the other arm holding the short sword stabs into Beryl, who takes it unless you can stop a 21 from hitting.
I could chrono shift it, that's about it.
Yeah, you could try to do that.
Let's try.
Wait, what's Chrono Shift? Is that the one? I forget.
It's a reaction. Any creature within 60 feet of me now does pretty much any roll. I can force them to reroll it and use the second roll.
Oh, force the reroll. Okay.
So let's go ahead
So
and do
does a
that.
17 hit you?
I could shield it, but I've already reacted.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah, 17's good.
you try to prevent the future from coming to pass, and you cannot. In a blink of a moment, you just woke up from meditation, and the dagger or the short sword stabs into you again. This time you resist the poison, I believe, but you go unconscious. And Beryl, make a death saving throw.
Cool.
Yeah, you succeed.
Yeah.
Isolde, you have just woken up because you have a very high passive perception, and a giant direwolf just came to be and ran past you.
Makes sense. Okay. Oh, my screen just flickered.
It's probably because I gave you vision of everybody, so if you select other people, it'll change your vision.
Yeah, it just flickered out to that, like, kind of textured gray, like, dice rolling tray
Oh.
texture. I'll just refresh it. Anyway, yeah, she gets up and is going to move her full 40 feet towards Beryl in the direction that she heard the wolf moving. But noticing that Beryl is on the ground, she is going to use Preserve Life and restore him to half of his health.
Okay.
Whatever that number is. My pool is like 65, so
He can do up to 40.
40.
take what you need. And for my bonus action, I'm going to cast Spiritual Weapon at 4th level and try to hit this guy with it.
Okay.
Perfect, just load it back in.
Okay, I put the spiritual weapon on the board for you. Does it attack on the same turn?
Yes.
Okay. Why doesn't it work? Well, whatever. Did you say 4th
I'm
level?
doing it.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
I've got
I did
it.
for you.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so yeah, you smack into Parmac with your weapon, and he recoils slightly. Is that your turn?
Yep.
Vosner, it's your turn.
All right. I'll take another bite out of crime.
Yep. Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, you bite and he fails. You knock him prone this time. He's on the ground, unable to attack at Bayroll anymore. Is that your turn?
Yeah, I don't get an extra attack, do I? As a
I
wolf,
don't
do I?
think so.
No,
It's
that's
just the
another
one.
wild shape. Okay.
Parmac is going to try and, seeing that he is in a bad situation, he is going to use his free hand to pull something out of his pocket, and he consumes it. It chews it in his mouth, and as you're watching him do this, you see his face grow pale, and he looks at Bayroll and says, "You'll never succeed," and then dies.
What?
And we are out of combat.
What the fuck?
I'm gonna immediately like sniff around and try and find like where he came from, like if there was like a secret door or something.
Yeah, do an investigation check for me.
Wait. Nope. Check. Skill investigation. Inside perception. Here we go. Investigation. Nope.
You take a beat to sort of look around and see how this could have happened, and you notice that, simply put, Parmac had access to this room. He had a key. As your assigned scribe, he could get in here without any need for breaking in or secret tunnels.
I'm gonna go up to Veril and just ask, what was that about? Did you know him?
I knew of him. He was an underling here at the library. I think he was quite a bit more than that as well.
Why would he try to attack you?
He whispered twice. "You will not succeed." I'm sure he was sent here to undermine what it is I'm doing with their squad.
What is it that you're trying to do?
He looks at you quizzically, like he knowing of your dreams is to save the world, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish we had clues on what exactly that was.
Well,
I've dropped my wolf.
that's our friend
I can't
Parmac.
talk as a giant wolf.
Okay. So Fosner
That's our
turns
friend.
back into a normal human.
And asks that question. What is he trying to do? What were you researching? Is there any sort of clue into maybe your work, or is it just being with us?
I very much doubt it's my work. My work is simply in chronology and all things time related. I'm sure it has more to do with our own affairs. Can I search his body for clues?
You search him, make an investigation roll. Oh yeah, you also have a point of exhaustion, so we'll just chalk that up to being exhausted. But yeah, you are trying to go through his pockets, but that poison that infected you, you're still battling with it. You're still feeling the effects of that blade inside you.
Could I loot the body as well?
Why not?
What kind of poison or dagger that he has?
Yeah, you uncover that it is just a regular short sword. and that he was using a sort of mid-range poison. He used, I guess you could make an investigation check to see if you know anything about the poison, or a nature check, I suppose.
See what I'm better at. Probably nature. Just as good as in any. Okay.
Yeah, you discover that it's just a high-level poison that is capable of doing a great deal of damage, and that Varel maybe needs to be cured of this poison in order to not succumb to it.
Could I cast? Would I know if a lesser restoration or a greater restoration would do that?
I think with that you'd know a lesser is enough. It's not that dangerous for poison.
Okay. I'll cast lesser on him then. Do I have it prepared?
I do if you don't.
I don't have it prepared, but I haven't had time to prepare myself.
Okay, well, Isolde can cast it, and you guys cure Varel.
He expresses his thanks to both.
Is it safe for us to stay here if there are people here that would wish for you to be dead?
I would expect he would be the only one. I met not too long ago with many powerful wizards, and it would be unwise to send more than one enemy to a place crawling with such power.
I suppose so. Do you think that he is working for someone more powerful? He doesn't himself seem like the type to, pit himself against such powerful wizards.
I would say he is almost certainly following orders. Perhaps we could ask his superiors to see if they know what strange behavior or business he's been doing.
Yeah, and sort of while you're doing that, Vosner finishes looting Parmek's body and discovers a bag with 250 gold in it.
Yoink.
Is it just regular gold coin, or is there anything?
It's technically in platinum, but it's worth 250 gold.
Gotcha. But nothing to link anyone else to a third party?
There is a note, and it just says Varel on it.
A contract.
Perhaps, although the intimate nature of his knowledge of your work, if he was just a regular person hired with gold to kill someone, I don't see the need to tell you that you won't succeed. That seems very personal.
I suppose you're right.
I also think
Well-
it might have something to do with some of the dreams that I've been having. And I tell them about the most recent dream, and then the connection about maybe a prior vision I had that had to deal with, I think it was me and it in the bottom of the guild, and the guy saying that I was too early again, so there might be some weird time stuff going on.
So this time the figure told you that you were already too late, or you would always too late?
I'm already too late, and I will always be too late. So could I recount from my dream? Did the library look as it does now, or does it look like a great deal of time had passed?
Roll a perception check for me, sort of retroactively.
Okay.
Yeah, it looked as though it had aged significantly.
Okay, so I let them in on that clue. It looks like my visions are of a different time, a future time. But it's talking to me now. And were they regular red eyes, or did they seem like, other than being red eyes, like something?
They were glowing, like
Or they were
magical.
I describe the magical effect. You know.
Does that sound like any sort of, I don't know, creature or evil god or anything that I would have heard of?
Make a history check. Nope. At least nothing specific. You know a number of things that may have glowing red eyes. It doesn't narrow it down or eliminate anything for you.
I know this being, whoever he is trying to maybe intimidate me or whatever. Maybe throw me off a trail. But do you know of any people or beings that maybe have traveled into the future or traveled to another plane that can do something like this? You know, maybe those effects that were affecting his eyes or the aura that was surrounding him is just a clue enough that there would be a book or a ledger.
Would I know? Or are you asking me, Master?
I'm asking Veril.
Yeah. Would I know, given my past battle with Demon Fae, whether what he's describing sounds like Demon Fae?
I don't. I mean, it potentially could be that. It's not enough to go off to describe anything in particular.
I would.
Just the eyes alone
Then I would just
tell you enough.
Yeah. I would speculate that it's Demon Fae and really not have much confidence. It would suggest that we look into it, but kind of kick the body of Karnak. You could say that, but that will be somewhat more difficult now that we've lost our systems.
Okay. Well, if there's not much for us here, then I don't know. I guess we'll finish whatever business we have. And kind of do things further elsewhere.
Regardless, what you've described in your dream sounds more like a statement of wishful thinking rather than a statement of fact. I'm confident, at least you're not yet too late.
Possibly. Also, could you repeat what you said? I couldn't. You were kind of garbled.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said, the creature in your dream sounds like it was a statement of wishful thinking, not a statement of fact, and that we're not too late.
Yeah. Well, I hope that we're crafters of our own fate. So, here's to that.
What time of day is it, John?
It is like late. It's like 2 a.m. right now. You guys got jumped while you were asleep.
Yeah, well, shall we finish the night then?
I suppose.
Let's see. I think I want to do something. Ooh, I do have it.
Have I been lesser restored?
Yes.
Okay. Am I still exhausted though?
Yes. But you are just about to do a long rest, so you'll be unexhausted in the morning.
Alright. I'm going to cast. Hold on. Since we are here.
That's for the morning, right, John?
Oh, okay. Yep.
So, here we go. Oh, come on, character sheet. Yes, I know I have one. I'm going to cast this in our room.
This what? Oh my god.
And just sort of turn the room into a druid grove.
Did you harvest mistletoe under the light of a full moon with a golden sickle?
I mean, it's been a long walk up here, so
That's such a specific requirement for a spell. I'll assume you've acquired some of this magic mistletoe. It doesn't seem to cost anything.
it doesn't cost any money.
Just requires like a once a month endeavor. So what are you making? You're making protect an area outdoors or underground. You're neither outdoors or underground.
Alright, well, never mind. It would have been really cool to turn this into like a weird library forest for like a night.
I mean, I'm not really against the flavor of it. It just, spoiler alert, you're not going to get attacked again tonight. So I'll just say, Bosner, you druid grove in a certain sense and like bar the doors with wooden branches and like in the morning when the maids come to like bring you breakfast, they can't open the door and they're very confused. And yeah, we'll just cut to the morning. You guys wake fully rested. I'm gonna throw you back to your Faerun map because I don't have anything else on that battle map for you. And you wake up in Candlekeep, fully rested to begin your day of research.
Vosner will continue to look for stories or records about beings that willfully cross to the prime material plane or left.
Okay.
And things about the Shadowfell still.
Okay, roll investigation for that. We'll say, since we sort of didn't address it, in the morning, Vayril tells the wizards about Harmac, and they are very concerned. They give you a new scribe, named... Well, what do you want your scribe to be named?
I'll just call him Scribe.
Scribe. Scribby the scribe.
Yeah.
Helps you guys out, fetches books that Vayril just requests by name, so his job is way easier. Yeah, Vosner, you spend the day
Not being successful.
just like struggling to read the most dense stuff. Make a Constitution saving throw.
Right. Is this another ghost situation?
No. You really want to fall asleep, but you power through and half read the books all day long. Isolde, what are you working on?
Is also looking up stuff about the planes and traveling between planes and portals.
Oh yeah, I had like a whole thing for you. Let me look that up.
You did?
I think I did.
So
Maybe I
nice.
lost it.
It wasn't a nighttime murder?
It was not a nighttime murder. That was just for you. And Beryl, technically.
I mean, it was good because it wasn't cracked. I knew he was gonna survive.
Yeah, you're always trying to kill my characters. No, what's going on?
It's not that I'm trying to, it's that I want to, and so that's just what happens. Wait, that didn't help, did it?
Perfect.
You said the quiet part out loud.
You're just the best you have like the best spirit about it, so like I kind of feel like I have to. Well, shit. I thought I had stuff written down for this, but maybe I don't. I have a whole
Okay.
thing ready. Okay, so yeah, roll your investigation. Unless you did. No, yeah, roll your investigation for research. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I had something. Oh no, I had written down. Okay, okay. Oh wow. Oh wow. You spend your whole day thinking like you've totally got it. You're like, I've cracked the code, this is how the planes work. And then you realize that it was like a children's book that was like a fan fiction of planes. And so like you internalize a whole bunch of shit that is like not scholarly. Like you're like, oh my god, this is so simple how all the planes work together in this really easy way. Like why didn't anybody write this before? And you show it to Veyril, who quickly notices that it is just like a fiction book. You basically picked up Harry Potter in the Faerun world.
Awesome.
Veyril, you are in your home turf, surrounded by scribes fetching you things. Roll investigation with advantage.
Yeah, buddy. Let's do that.
Wait, tell me what you want to know
Give me 20.
first.
Yeah, I guess two things. I already know that we're going to Chult, right?
You do know that you guys are heading to Chult.
Should I not have said that out loud? I'm sorry.
No, all the players know, but none of the characters know except for Veyril.
Okay. I don't feel bad. Then I'd like to do some research just to see what I might need to expect there.
Okay.
As far as and political conflict, inhabitants, etc.
Yeah. Okay. Roll for that.
So,
Look at that, double
Levi
18s. Man, your investigation is only +5. That seems. You don't have it. You're not proficient in it.
no, I picked other things to be proficient in.
Weird. All right.
My history is really good.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? If you're. That makes sense, actually. History for this one would make sense. So what would that be? 5 more than that?
Yeah.
Well, it'd be that previous roll plus 5. So with a 28 history, you get a very long history of the island of Chult, which I can write out and send to you. But the short version of it is that this island is fucked. It is like sort of like Jurassic Park meets the Shimmer from Annihilation meets like strange time travel and disruptive magic auras that make spells fail randomly. This place is just like a quagmire, and it's the result of a number of sort of adventurous and ambitious magical experiments that have all gone catastrophically awry, and then a number of wizards who have tried to sort of like harness the power of this island and turn it into something usable, and that going awry as well. So it's just like cataclysmic spell failure after cataclysmic spell failure, all exacerbated by the spell plague, which sort of just like turned this hot soup on boil and left it for like 5 years.
Got it. Veyril gulp and is significantly less enthusiastic about heading here.
What you also come to find out is that things local to the island include all sorts of monstrosities which have never been seen on Toril before and are potentially from other planets, though that's just one theory, because they have like aspects of them which no other creature on Toril shares, so they seem very alien. There are also like hordes of undead as the product of sort of mad necromancers who took over, tried to conquer the jungle, and then eventually were slain, sending all of their zombies feral. So the jungle is just full of undead. There's also tales of dinosaurs and like undead versions of animals, gorillas, all sorts of crazy shit. You also spend there's an entire book on the 75 diseases that one can get on the Isle of Chult.
Holy hell.
So it's just sort of like a long list of which diseases happen and which symptoms occur first and for how long, and then there's just a list of 20 of them that don't result in death.
It's a lot of red flags here, John. A lot of red flags.
Yeah.
Do I see any mention of any successful expeditions and how they were able to be successful?
Yeah, so what you know is that given the dominant presence of undead, the most successful people on this island are a band of kind of recent explorers known as the Flaming Fist, who are a order of paladins who sort of go out on the island on expeditions and uncover ancient artifacts and relics and sell them to the mainland. They're funded out of Baldur's Gate and Waterdeep and all the other major cities of the Sword Coast. And so people sort of go to Chult and join up in this fort as a way of making their riches.
Got it. Well, I know who to contact when we get there, so.
Oh, and while we're at it, I might as well show you the Chult map. Oh no! Token vision. I fix it. And this is what you see as the most recent map of Chult.
That's big.
Yes, and the hex is accurate, so you can do a hex and move 110 miles or 200 and some miles or whatever, if you want to measure anything. You know the most civilized city that is still standing, as per recent reports, which is a book that was published 10 years ago, is a Port Nyanzaru. And that the Order of the Flaming Fist is located out of Fort Beluarian.
So land and head north. And this might be too meta, but I missed those sessions. Could you tell me why we're going to Chult as a squad?
Oh, you don't know yet,
Or is that
and the whole squad doesn't know
Okay.
yet. But Vayril knows that his future is going to be walking around this awful, awful jungle for quite some time.
Cool.
Because
Future intuitions, then.
right. I will say that your Mistra's mark directs you towards these texts, and you're sort of researching it without knowing necessarily why. Sort of a leap of faith.
It's like my grad studies. Cool.
Exactly.
Very cool, thank you.
Yeah. Anything else? So we'll say that's another day down. And then what I want to do is give you guys all one montage for. We'll do one more roll for each of you guys with advantage, because we'll count it for the whole week, and then we'll do what was I gonna say? One thing for Isolde learning. I think she learns plane shift, and so does Vosner.
Yeah, I have access to that, and Windwalk too.
Yeah. Yes, with Windwalk, Vosner, you meet with a number of sort of scholars who, well, with Windwalk, I feel like maybe you learned that with the Kuldahar tree people and never got to use it, but have been working on mastering it. since that makes more sense. That powerful druids teach that to you, and perhaps even Tetherman could teach that to you, help you finish that training. So I think we'll just abstract that happened for your training when you got to Mossstone and met with Tetherman. Then we'll switch to Isolde, who is learning Plane Shift, and you, Isolde, meet with a cleric of... Fuck, I lost it. You at one point ask sort of about this spell and are directed towards the temple that is located in Candlekeep. It is a temple to Agma.
Yeah.
The god of writing. And there you see a dragonborn in sort of cool light armor. It's sort of like a half plate with robes, named Silken, who sort of greets you kindly and is willing to teach you the way of using Plane Shift.
Dope.
I'd say Vosner watches or comes along as well, since he's learning the spell. And Silken explains to you that the only way to use plane shifts is to have forks that are keyed to different planes of existence, and that the forks themselves are very difficult to come by.
Interesting. How does one come by one?
So this is slightly non-canonical, but this is how I'm running it in my campaign. The fork has to be composed of a metal which is harvested from the plane that you're going to. So if you want to go to the Abyss, you need a tuning fork made out of a metal that is harvested from an alloy in the Abyss.
It's dope as fuck. I'm super into it.
Awesome.
Yes, and Silken advises that plane shift only be used in very dire circumstances. The upper planes may be enjoyable, but most of the others are not worth the risk. God forbid you end up on the plane of elemental fire and find yourself burning alive.
Oh, we can get there.
If you have the fork, you can.
Vosner just
Um,
remembers the portal on, what is it, New Brinchander? With the fire
New Gunderland.
elementals?
You guys
New
closed
Gunderland.
that portal.
Oh, we can't just open it back up to there?
No, when you reopened it, it opened it to the guild.
Never mind.
Same as with the one to Crimea.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna ask Silken about the ethereal plane as well, because she learns a spell called etherealness, where she can kind of just step into the ethereal plane and then move around the scene, essentially.
Yeah. He talks about how the ethereal plane is sort of a sister plane to the material plane, and that it is something that you can always step into in a pinch. However, it does mask you from vision, and it does mask you from the sight of others who can't see into the ethereal plane. But it does not protect you from harm. You can be harmed in the ethereal plane, and if you are stuck in there, it may be very difficult to get out. So it is not something to do lightly.
Okay, she'll take that advice into account.
And he tells you the story of a cleric who once died in the ethereal plane, and it took 8 hours for his body to return.
What a story.
Yeah, crazy. For
Cool.
any of you that don't know, that happened in a campaign I was in. I just told Laura about it the other day.
Cool.
Okay. So, let's do another round of final investigation or history, I'll say, depending on what you're interested in. or Arcana, or Nature. Say, just like open it up with advantage. Yeah. What was your inquiry into again, Zoltan?
So I chose history because I think she would want to know as much as possible about like people who have traveled between different planes.
Okay.
If there's like any well-known figures,
Yeah.
or if there's any information about reading portals.
You
those wizards.
find a curious book about a city named Sigil that you had never heard of before. In fact, you hadn't heard it mentioned in any other book. And it's a very old book, and it sort of mentions it and describes it in these fantastic details as being a city that is sort of ring in shape, that if you look up into the sky, you can see the opposite end of the city, that the gravity is very strange, and that in this city of Sigil are a number of portals that lead all over the universe, not even just Toril, but elsewhere, and that there are strange people who live in this city and who have traveled all around the world, and that there had been sort of a way to get to Sigil through portals in the material plane, but that knowledge has been lost.
Like old knowledge, like
Yeah.
Netherese age kind of stuff.
Not Netherese, more recent than Netherese, but still
Okay.
old.
Cool.
So you hear story of there used to be people who did a lot of interplanar travel, and it is now much more rare.
And that falling off point was before Spell Plague?
Mm-hmm. Like 700 years ago.
Okay. Cool.
Vosner, you want to do your role?
Yeah, I think what Vosner wants to is sort of eventually understanding is that he's going to have to deal with whoever this dude is. And it seems like he might be from another plane, so he wants to look for ways or people that have like fought or done combat, or druids that have, like done combat against different planar beings and what that would be like. I don't know. Just trying to
So,
prepare
are you
himself.
investigating, looking for this figure in history, or are you looking for stories of druids fighting planar beings?
Druids fighting planar beings.
Okay.
And
Roll me
Yes.
a history check.
history? Okay.
Yeah.
With advantage, right?
Yeah. So with a
Oop.
19, you essentially get that there have been a number of historical events with druids being part of a team of people who fought large beings. You read about, like, supposedly thousands of years ago, even before the Netherese Empire, like a druid and others fighting a Tarrasque. You read about beings, primordial beings from other realms, like the elemental fire realm, coming in and being defeated by bands of heroes. In fact, in one of your books, you find a story of Arcanus, who was the Archdruid of Mostone that you knew that died, and how he, as a member of the Company of Eight, helped save Mostone from many terrible beings.
Awesome. Is there any information on like what type of druids they were? Like the different types of circles?
Oh, every type. Arcanus was I don't think he was a shape-shifting one. He was, I think, an earth druid, and Tetherman is a moon druid. What else? Yeah, I mean every type. Stars, moon druids, twilight. No, that's clerics. Fire druids.
Okay. I guess he'll just kind of sort of keep those memories sort of tucked back in his mind and maybe think about ways in which he can, I don't know, spice up or diversify the way he fights to help.
Okay. Yeah. The next time we fight a big planar being or something, Vosner has advantage, we'll say. Or not advantage, inspiration.
Ooh.
Varel, what are you researching?
Yeah, I'd like to do a history check to see if there are any like groups whose established mission is to oppose Mistra, or like other apocalyptic groups, and to see if any of them are still active in Faerun.
Okay.
Figure out who sent Parmac here.
Yeah. You know, as you suspected, at one point the cult of Cyric is one that's actively against Mistra. You know that if you look back far enough into the history of the world, Shar is one of the biggest, most powerful goddesses, and she was the one who originally, wanted to kill Mistra. So you get some big cosmological shit going all the way back to the beginning, saying that there are countless evil gods who think that killing Mistra is at the heart of defeating and destroying all existence.
Okay. Somewhat illuminating, but not specific. But that's fine.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Alright. That'll do.
Okay. Any other questions before we sort of leave this Candlekeep mantra? Or montage, not mantra.
Yeah.
I'm good.
No. Any information on that guy? Or no?
Let's say... Well, you kind of spent your day researching the other thing instead of the guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep, so you guys finish out your week there reading very heavily and discover some interesting information, and it is close to the time that you agreed to meet back up in Mossstone. Anything you guys want to do before you all meet up in Mossstone?
I clean my office so that it's nicer for when I come back.
Now I'm gonna have to find art of a clean library room.
It'll dirty up on its own. It always does.
Fair enough, yeah. Okay, so you guys head, you leave Candlekeep and, utilizing Varel's teleportation circle, which he learned at, oh, this is actually interesting. Rewinding a bit, there was a moment where, Varel went to talk to Mirren to get access to the teleportation circle, and I wanted to leave that open in case you, Dylan, wanted to have a conversation with Mirren in private. Like he could use that as an excuse to go talk to him in private. And if you wanted to have that conversation, you can, but if you don't, we can just pretend that you just asked about the teleportation circle.
I would have, but unless Real said that I can trust him and that he was one of them, then so that satisfied all of my
Yeah,
concerns.
but if you still wanted to ask about the time thing or him calling you Master Varel prematurely or whatever.
I will let it simmer as a mystery to be solved later, I think.
Okay. So anyways, you travel back, you teleport into the Guild of Mossstone. I'll play my Mossstone music. Yeah. And you arrive, the three of you, through Varel's teleportation circle in the guild hall, and step out into witness a bustling scene in the guild hall with all of these young groups training, all of them with different tutors as you once did before. You see Chandri with like a half dozen clerics following behind her, and she sort of waves at you, Isolde, as she's teaching them about various gods in the Hall of Gods. And you see Evander dealing with like a wild magic sorcerer who has turned herself into a monkey and is trying to get unturned into a monkey. And you see Arvine and the warlocks sort of all staring at those sorcerers and laughing because they are inferior. And what else? You guys walk out into the main hall, and I'll say Terran has just arrived from his long trek. He looks sort of, I don't know, do scales get tanned? He looks a little bit weathered. Maybe he's grown out a scaly beard. No, I don't know. You do you, Terran. And then also Damon will have entered the guild sort of with his new arm in tow. Damon, you want to describe what your new arm looks like?
Yeah, it.
You cut out. I don't know if you're talking so.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
Yeah. It looks like half finished, and like it's made from just like a hodgepodge of old like parts and gears that you might find in like, for instance, on an artificer's boat while out at sea. There's like gaps and you can kind of see through, but it looks like there's like pistons that like allow for like some kind of compartment in the center to like open up and flip out, and like something might be stored in there.
Sweet. And so you all sort of arrive, almost like it was destined, to the same spot, sitting in the center of the guild hall on the lower floor, the shining sun of the Mythalar sort of just rotating brightly behind all of you.
Gopher Squad there.
Gopher Squad is not there.
Bosner takes a little breath to himself, kind of relieved. And he sits at the regular table that they would all sit at, like closest to their dorm door, I guess. And sees if anyone comes over.
Sorry, I don't. What are you doing? Sorry.
Walking to the mess hall.
Oh, okay. That's a level down. You're just walking away from the group.
Well, he makes eye contact with everyone, waves at them, and says, "Well, after the week we've had, I could use a drink. Anybody want to join?" And he makes his way to the mess hall.
Before he leaves, Isolde would just say, "Hold on a second. I think that maybe we should talk about some of the things that have happened this past week. I mean, at the very least, about your dreams. And I don't think that is really mess hall appropriate."
Yeah, I guess that's the wisest. All right, well, they're not going anywhere. Where do you want to go?
Where are we right now? All in our dorm room, right?
No, you guys are on the first level, sort of the lobby, if you will, of the guild. And if you'd go
Okay.
down a level, you would see the mess hall and then also all of your barracks rooms.
Perhaps we should go to the barracks, and then when we are done, I certainly could use a drink and some food that is properly seasoned.
Sounds good. The food was nightmarish.
I shall try to gather everyone down to the barracks. Talk about this month and everything that's happened.
Okay. Unless people object, everybody goes down to the barracks.
So, I suppose maybe we should start, Vosner, if you want to fill people in on what happened.
Yeah. So, as you all know, I have these dreams or visions. I don't know what to call them now. It seems like there's something actively interacting, haunting me. And there's this figure, being, that is doing something quite nefarious and is in a different part of time, much further than now. Survived after, I don't know, some horrible event that I'm a part of. So, I describe the figure's red eyes and the green arcane aura around him. Or I don't even know if it's arcane. The green aura around him. They issued and then from the past visions, the strange details about time. And how that's either a different plane or that's something catastrophic that's happened to the prime material plane. So yeah, there's a lot to it. I feel like this is definitely part of what I've been going after. For whatever reason, this being chose me. And apart from everything else we're doing, I hope it's in line with stopping this person. But if at some point those paths diverge, I'll have to think about what I want to accomplish. And it's definitely stopping him.
Would you guys please stop talking over each other? It's like that thing.
Bosner claps his hand uncharacteristically and says, "Questions?"
I'm not sure there is much. I don't know. It's kind of similar to the dreams that you had before, where there's like not much that we can do about it except for kind of sit with the fact that we know that it is out there.
Yeah. One thing that was interesting that the druids, they're druids at the tree, right? Not dryads. Or are they dryads?
They are both. They are dryads, which is like a creature type, and then they are also druids.
What the dryads told me, or at least the leader, he said that certain visions, if they are visions, are tied to places. And I've had those Shadowfell type streams here in this building. So maybe it's just connected with this architecture or something. But I also had a vision of Candlekeep while here, and then when we made our way to the north, I recognized the building. So it seems a little bit more active. And it's not something that befalls us, but maybe we can fight it. I don't know.
I had never thought about the location thing before, but I mean, we know that the sort of barriers between planes, at least, are thinner here. And that was certainly the case for our little journey to the Shadowfell and the portal to the Feywild, not to mention all of the other portals. Maybe it is the case that Dever is giving you these visions from another plane, so it is easier for them to access you here? But that doesn't fully explain you having a dream at Candlekeep.
Yeah. Well, the fact that we have two Marins at two different times seems like there might be a possibility of whoever this person is might be in the same or a similar situation.
Another time traveler?
Maybe.
If these visions of yours, Voss, are premonitions of the future, and if in the past you found yourself in the places you had visions of from before, it seems inevitable that you'll end up confronting this person sometime soon. I hope you're there with you when that happens.
It does seem inevitable.
Maybe a third of that.
He said that if you're having visions, you'll eventually confront this person, and that he hopes that they're there with you. You do.
I hope very much so. We've come a long way.
It's all right. I think it's Discord plus the game. It's soaking up too much of your bandwidth.
Well, aside from these, I guess, new chapters to the mystery of things that are shown to us, what has been going on with the rest of you? Damon, was your trip, productive, I guess? That was the goal?
Well, yes, we did manage to kill something that was quite satisfying. You can see I had a bit of a mishap, and I hold up my new arm. But fortunately, our captain was able to produce something serviceable in its place.
Oh. What is the, what is that mechanism there? I don't understand how any of this works, but does it do something new?
It is quite ingenious. Observe. And then I just clench the fist in like a weird way. And the pistons press in, and a little short sword sized blade flips out, and the hand flips away. So I just have a blade on the end of the eye.
Oh, it's
Wow.
not a short sword. It's your any sword you want. It's your flaming sword.
Oh, I can put the inferno just comes out, and I light it up. And it's just like this big, huge blade is like stored in the arm now. And it like basically becomes my arm when I flip it out.
Wow. Don't know who you were traveling with, but that is really cool.
Yes, it's quite remarkable what this gentleman was able to do. He is brilliant, not unlike Master Missile, although temperamentally, interestingly enough, he was more in line with Johoff.
An odd combination.
It was indeed, but as you can see, he is quite capable. We managed to slay a kraken under his leadership.
Wow. Good. I'm glad that you only lost an arm.
I am quite pleased myself. It could have been significantly worse. Have any of you received information from Master Marin, or any news of what's next for us in the interim?
No, I haven't had a chance yet, but perhaps that is something to do before we sit down and enjoy a drink. Before we get to that, what about the rest of you? Aaron?
It went. I saw Rusty, and it went fairly well. He kind of unbuttons his jacket to show the where the scar had been on like his lower neck is now like a silhouette of a platinum silhouette of a dragon head, and on the inside, all of his scales are like a mix of all the different metallic dragon colors.
Did we know that that's what he was going there to do?
They knew that he was going to talk to Rusty.
Thought you would talk to him about the pirate
contract.
What?
Do we know that he was going to talk to him about his contract with the devil?
No. I think he probably could have pieced it together, but he didn't say so explicitly. Like, he talked to Arvine, and then he decided to go to Rusty. So, like, if you guys put two and two together, It wouldn't have been hard, but he never, like, told you.
Vosner, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, he would have said, "Oh, I thought you were just gonna go and talk to him about the pirates."
We did that too.
Oh, any
he
updates?
Said that a new necromancer came to town, or is involved, and he has taken over the undead pirates in the region, but he isn't aggressive like the old one, and he's weirdly powerful.
Red?
So in character, Taryn has completely forgotten who Brett is.
Yeah.
So
I would say Taryn could make. I think all of you, if you wanted to, make a history check, sort of your own characters. DC 15 to remember who, like, of Bread that he would.
Taryn has fully forgotten. I'm not even going to make the check.
Okay,
There's been a lot going
Vosner
on.
remembers because he practically died at
That's fair. Yeah, you know what? I guess it's not really fair of me to be like your character forgets an event that happened. The only problem is that we sort of out of game talked about Bread a lot, so I didn't want to. We would need to be like a little bit careful on how metagamey we are. But I'll say, Vosner, if you make a history check, it's history check.
History?
DC 15, you might remember that bread could qualify for this. I don't know. That seems. I don't want to be too. Fucking
Yes!
A. Yeah.
Yes!
You think of bread as the only necromancer you know, who
That's part of the
isn't a
reason.
lich that you've killed.
To be fair, there's no reason for us to think that Brett is so powerful that he could take over like
Right.
an ocean full of undead, right?
Right. So you only know. You only think of it as just that's the only necromancer you know.
That works. I am vindicated.
You ask if it's Brett, and everyone just gives you like blank faces.
And Vosner knows beyond a shadow of a doubt. Well, remember one of our first adventures, and we had to deal with the necromancer in the crypt. He was stealing the bodies.
Necromancer. Oh. Oh.
He did not enjoy his presence.
I'm really surprised you remember that. I mean, it was scary, but
He did almost kill me.
whatever happened to him? I think he was like collecting bodies or bones, like as little helpers. And then I don't think we ever figured out what he was doing with them.
Exactly. Weirdly powerful.
Not that powerful.
I don't
He
know.
did hit you pretty hard, but I mean,
We're pretty powerful now. Who knows what he's like?
I guess that's true. Thing to keep in mind, I guess.
Yeah, well, sorry to distract us. We have bigger fish to fry.
I think they will just ask who's bread.
I was
Bosner goes into a very long, very exaggerated story of how he was always necromancer.
Oh, you got quiet, Kurt.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Bosner just goes into a very long, very exaggerated story of how he almost died by Brett's hands.
See.
It shouldn't really be affecting him this much, but it is.
Wizards will have that effect on you.
Oh, Aaron, I have to say, I guess I should have put it together that that's what you were going to see Rusty about. But I didn't. I'm really glad, though.
Yeah, Taryn's
imagine.
clearly a little deflated from having this revelation just get immediately sidetracked to some fucking necromancer from a year ago.
Yeah.
But he
Bosner
said,
does not pick up on that on purpose.
It must feel like the biggest weight is lifted. I mean, but how? I would imagine that it didn't happen so easily.
he kind of like rubs his shoulder a little bit and says, I guess my freedom is a bit of a loner right now. I wasn't expecting it to happen. I was expecting just advice, but Rusty exchanged his name on the contract for mine. Yeah.
Oh.
At least for now. Until. And he says, like, his face gets very determined, and he says just very matter-of-factly, until I kill the double. Like, it's, like, something that he's already decided is going to happen.
Damn. Okay. Mental note of that. So,
We're killing gods now.
I mean, it was already something that at least I had been thinking about in terms of how to get Terran out of this, but it seemed vastly beyond what we were capable of. But I understand, I think.
Rusty said that since we are chosen of the gods, we may be able to amass enough power to do so.
I will trust that he is right then. I don't think he has ever given you bad advice.
A quick shake of his head and goes, he has not, and he would not have made this deal if he didn't believe it.
That's quite a lot of trust that he has in you.
Taryn just nods. And, like, his face is just, like, hard set. Like,
The way that she says it is almost a little bit fearful. Like, she knows that that also means that the rest of them have to step high, you know? They have to step up to that challenge. Well, if that is what it takes, and, that's what is necessary to make sure that this is not a for the time being situation, but a permanent freedom for you, then that is what we will do.
Taryn nods and says, like, yeah, it's something that I have to do, at least, and I would be grateful to anyone who follows me down that path, but I feel like it is not something that will come soon.
Well, if I'm alive, I will be with you.
In the meantime, I mean, is it amazing to be connected to Bahamut again?
So I guess meta question, what does he feel through the mark?
Yeah, it's a nice feeling of connectedness. It's not so much a, like, it's like the other marks. It's not like a cognitive link, like there's a voice in your head. Sort of like just a powerful presence. And this one doesn't have sort of a sickly sweet feeling to it. It just feels sort of strong and secure in a lawful good way.
So
and
it
it also
says,
feels like humming with potential, so that if you actually use the ability, it'll be pretty intense.
I feel like on his walk home, he would have experimented with it and, like, zorched a squirrel or something.
Yeah.
Squirrel, no.
That's a little more warlock than it is sorcerer, but I'll allow it. It's just like zapping some poor squirrel for no reason. Yeah, you can test it out, and we'll imagine
Or, like,
Terran has
a
sort of
dead
mastered
tree
it.
or something.
Yeah, he's gotten the feel for it, so he can use it in combat without it being sort of like random. Yeah. Okay.
So I guess he would say to Isolde, something like, it feels safe almost, like I'm whole in a way I never knew I was missing.
Wow. Really happy for you. That is... Yeah, that's good. You can tell that she's, like, a lot less worried about him now. Like, her demeanor actively changes from what it was up north.
Yeah. Now you can resurrect him when he dies. Yay!
Yeah.
Okay. And so we'll say you guys eventually go out, get a drink, are enjoying your evening, and then Marin requests you in his study at some point.
Joke.
And
Okay.
you guys travel up to his study, and you find Marin looking over a map of Chult. And as you walk in, he sort of continues to pore over it, not breaking his eye line with it. And he says, "Welcome, Bear Squad. I trust your time off has been profitable." And he kind of like looks up, seeing Damon's arm. And Varel's new fancy robes.
Damon wordlessly like shifts back to it just being a hand.
Oh. Yeah, okay. Your arm like folds back up. It's no longer a menacing sword blade.
When we were out drinking, there was a bunch of very confused little servant people who didn't know how to tell you to put your arm away because it's both a weapon and like a ligament.
Yeah, I'll say that while you were sort of drinking in the cafeteria, there was that feeling, but there was also sort of like quiet hush as you guys entered the room and sat down at your like old table, and like you saw people move to go sit at like different tables to not get in your way. And so now there's sort of like this aura of like, oh shit, that's Bear Squad walking in.
Nice.
And there's no gambling or anything. The mess hall is substantially bigger and has probably triple the amount of people in it that you used to see in there. And you guys don't really recognize any of the faces. They're all sort of the younger squads.
Is Dragon Squad still a thing?
Dragon Squad is still a thing, and Marin is about to tell you about them.
Whoa.
So cut back to Marin eyeing the map of Chult. He says, Dragon Squad left for Chult 4 weeks ago. At this point, I have not heard back in 3. Something needs to be done.
They were pretty powerful. Must be pretty bad.
Indeed, which is why I can only send you. None of the other squads are up for the challenge. Anything able to take down Dragon Squad would be a formidable opponent, even to the leaders of this guild now.
You have more confidence in us than in your own guild leader.
I have more confidence in you than anybody I risk to dispatch, as dark as that sounds.
So, do you think that this is like a rescue mission, or are we being sent to investigate why Dragon Squad isn't coming back?
Well, the original mission is to seek out the portal, find the staff, and finish uniting the various portals, as you have already accomplished twice now. As for the Isle of Chult, the presence of the staff is known to be somewhere on the island, and the portal is known to be somewhere deep in the heart of the island. And Dragon Squad was on it for a while, before they stopped reporting back in, and I have not heard from them since. As for a rescue mission, of course, if you can find them, bring them back to us. As for an investigation, that will probably be a requisite in order to find them in the first place. But the overall mission is, as it always has been to the guild. The securing of the portals is the most important, and that will come first and foremost.
When would you have us leave?
Whenever you are ready. Time is of the essence, if any of Dragon Squad is still alive, they may be in dire need of your aid.
Do we remember the composition, like, of Dragon Squad? Like, who is on it? What type of
Yeah,
people? Yeah.
that's a great question. Okay. Dragon Squad had a bard named Darvin, a rogue named Leah Nightbreeze, who was known for wielding 3 swords simultaneously, a dragonborn fighter named Rogar, who was like a silver dragonborn, who carried a greatsword, a moon druid named Theron, who Vosner knows quite well from his training, and I believe she was a sorceress named Vanny. I'd have to look it up for sure. I think she was either a sorceress or she was a warlock, but I think it was a sorceress. So the 5 of them. And for sort of meta reasons, you know all of them to be a little bit more advanced than you, probably around level 14 or 15. And you guys are sort of meta-wise also just sort of power level, knowing now that the guild masters are all between 12 and 18 or so in their abilities. So anymore, it's possible that any of the members of this squad are more powerful or as powerful as their teachers. As are you guys now. Oh, and you guys all just hit level 13. Congrats.
Nice.
Yay.
Woohoo!
And so he sort of turns to you and says, "Well, will you take the mission?"
Of course.
Zola kind of just nods.
Very well. Acquire any provisions you need and find whatever transport you need. The guild will pay for it if need be. And he sort of turns to the rest of you and says, "The pay for this quest will be 1,000 guild coins per member of the guild."
That's substantial.
Well, it's a very important part. We are getting down to the wire here. We almost have all of the stats at this point. We are moving along quite well. Only a few remain missing.
Makes sense.
Okay, Master Baron.
Go ahead,
No
Baron.
contact on the island of Cholt.
Can you repeat that again?
You have any contacts on the Isle of Cholt, or people we should seek out first?
Yes. He says there's a man named Commander Ninon, and then he shows you a picture of him. I don't know. He's got it in his wallet. No, this is just who you're gonna eventually see. A man, an older man named Commander Ninon, who has been running the Fort Balorian for some time now, as part of the Flaming Fists. That is our point of contact for Dragon Squad, and that is who gave Dragon Squad their guide into the jungles of Cholt. I'm sure he will equip you similarly with another guide who can aid you on your mission.
Do we know anything about Jolt?
There's a great deal to learn, and he pulls out a book on like the history of Cholt and throws it down on the table and says, "I would suggest you read that before taking this journey."
Is that something I would have read in the library?
Yeah, you
Very intimidating.
legitimately read it. you read that one and another book that was actually more helpful that Marin doesn't even know about.
I smile imperceptibly but say nothing. I'll fill in the crew later.
So you guys grab a book on the history of Chult.
Yeah. I guess I asked my question about if this might be a good or this might be a conversation to have in private. But Marin, do you know of any other people like you who can exist both in the past and in the future at the same time? And then I kind of tell him it's related to my dreams if he doesn't want to talk to it right now.
He looks at you and says, "Very few people have traveled back in time. Fewer still have traveled back to a time in which they were currently alive." He says, "I know of no one."
Alright, so I describe the dude in my dream, and I say, does this sound... have you ever heard of someone like this?
Tell me every sort of main detail you use to describe this guy.
Is a man with glowing with glowing red eyes, and there's sort of a crackle of arcane or some sort of energy around him that's green. Every time I've interacted with him, he said that I was either too early, and this time he said that whatever my mission was, that I will always be too late. So it sounds a lot like time stuff.
Marin thinks for a moment and then pauses. And anyone who wants to roll insight to see how he's responding to this, feel free.
Oh, Vosner's gonna insight the hell out of this. Let's get that going.
Oh, okay. Osner, you notice Marin sort of... he doesn't betray like, what? He's sort of like, he clearly has like a hint of recognition. And he says, "I will look into it, and I will get back to you. I will have an answer for you when you arrive next."
Is he that dangerous? Sort of like, I wanna make it clear that I could see that he, like, something has figured his memory, but he's not telling us.
He
but I want to respect him to let time be.
He sort of gives up and turns to you and says, "Incredibly." And turns to the rest of you and says, "I need you to go as soon as you can."
Yeah, of course.
Is this getting like scary serious? Is his tone scary serious?
When he said that to Vosner, it was scary serious. When he said that he needs you to go, he was trying to change the subject.
I see, okay. Yes, we will go as soon as, possible. Are there things that we should have prepared, before the island? I mean, I don't know anything about it really, but I mean, like, resistance potions? Is it, what kind of place is it?
There's a
Oh, did Vera want to say it?
I was gonna mutter it is a land of chaos.
Yes. Do you remember, when you spent some time in the Abyss?
Much so, yes.
I imagine it's quite similar. And in some ways, perhaps worse.
Okay.
What kind of beasts are there? So maybe there's some sort of advantage or something I can learn.
Perhaps you can learn how to shapeshift into the various beasts that inhabit the isle. For the record, Bosner, you already have seen a T-Rex.
Am I high enough level that I can masterfully turn into a T-Rex?
No, I think they're CR8, aren't they?
A baby T-Rex? I don't know what's
They're
CR.
CR8. Yeah, so CR8, so you would have to be... It's like level 16 to turn into that? Or what is it for Moon Druids? It's 3 divided by 3, so I don't think you could turn into a T-Rex until you're level 24.
Okay, alright. Since time is a weird soup, could I get whatever Marin is on and then just be able to do that?
I will say, by the end of this campaign, you can turn into a T-Rex.
You can turn into a T-Rex when we're fighting Asmodeus.
Yeah, that'll be right. We'll just unlock your... maybe that'll be like the artifact item for Bosner, is that he can shapeshift into whatever CR his current level is. Just fucking turn
shit.
into a dragon or something.
Yeah, that would be insane.
Yeah, with unlimited shapeshifts, that'd probably be broken as fuck. Yeah, we'll figure something out. Maybe it'll be
I
only
could choose
half his
one
level.
or the other.
Maybe it'll be... Oh, that's kind of good. You could turn
Right.
into once a day a level C, like a CR20 beast, if there is one that exists.
Yeah. Or unlimited shapeshifts to my current.
I like it. That sounds fun as fuck to me. Okay, but that's for god killing time in the epilogue plot. We're just in like baby steps right now. So anybody have any other questions for Marin?
Nope.
Okay, so sort of realizing that I feel bad for Tim. He's been here this whole session. Hasn't said anything. Hi, Tim.
Tim, are you alive?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm enjoying listening to the story.
Okay, cool. Anyways, so you guys head off to get ready or do whatever you want. You can tell me what you want to do. If we want to abstract it out and do a shopping session, we can do that. Sort of whatever.
I have shopping lists both for guild coins and for regular monies.
Cool.
Yeah. I was wondering, since I'm blowing all my guild coins on upgrading my armor, is it ready?
Oh, yeah, it should be ready for this trip.
Okay.
I forget what we're doing to it, though.
We're adding the white dragon scales to it and hopefully getting a bump to AC, if that's possible.
Yeah, I think now it's +2, and it gives 2 different resistances.
Cool.
So now cold and poison resistance on that armor. Yeah, okay. So that's
It's a pretty
Vosner.
great piece of armor, not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's like relic tier or legendary tier at this point. Isolde is getting a bag of or did you not want me to say this out loud?
Those were just ideas that I sent you earlier.
Oh, so I have to check the price
No.
on all of that or whatever?
You don't have to. That's something I can do in between sessions.
Okay.
But as far as stuff that I'm getting from the guild, we had 500 coins, right?
Yeah, each
Each.
member of the guild, so Terran, Vosner, and Isolde, and I think Damon's getting his sort of side grade with the robot arm, and Varel got his robe. So that's sort of like...
Okay.
And
Is Pickinip still alive?
Hickenip is doing well, but he's like not even the front man. They have like enough people that he's sort of in the back making shit. And they've constructed a new sort of soundproof area, so his yelling is not heard by the new people.
I was hoping that I could hear him, for old time's sake.
Yeah, you have to go into the magic shop to like pick up your armor, and he just comes out with it. Well, is it everything you ever dreamed of?
Just sounds like home. Yep, that and so much more.
It also smells like home, if you know what I mean.
No, but thank you.
You're welcome.
Damn, that was for you.
I feel like I should still hire Tim to do that voice.
It was lovely. I couldn't have done it better.
Liar. That's funny. I also can't yell in my apartment because Natalie lives here too.
That's fair. I made a list of different consumables to buy, because I don't really think I could benefit from anything on the combat item side of things.
Sure.
So if anyone wants it, I have an extra like 220 coins.
So Taryn, unless people need like extra coins to buy what they want, Taryn is gonna buy like 10 potions of greater healing with 150 of his, if I did the math right.
Sure.
And then burn the rest on spell scrolls to make sure he doesn't run out of spells.
Sure.
I'll get you a list sometime over this week of
Okay.
the math.
Yeah, I don't think there's any other druid specific things on there. So
Like on
Wow.
the item list?
yeah, on the item list or
Well, you're
The
burning
guild.
all your guild coins, so
yeah,
it
I've
would
already
just be gold stuff now.
anything to kind of help the party, potions, maybe some beads of fireball, because that.
Oh
was
yeah,
help-
those are cool.
Yeah, you guys can buy whatever stuff you want, consumables.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of money. You're sitting on like 40k in Waterdeep, which Varel can get you to Waterdeep at any point to go spend that money. So
Cool.
in those shops, and we don't have to. We can just abstract out all that shit.
Yeah.
Also, custom homebrew items. That's an option. If you want to enchant something you already have to make it more powerful, that's an option. Like we can. I'm open to some stuff. We're basically starting a new arc at level 13. Level 13 characters usually have a lot of magic items at this point, and
Ooh.
I've given you some, but I've mostly just given you gold so you can pick what you want. That way you can sort of customize your own character. Otherwise it's just me like being like, I think this is how you should play your character, and then giving you an item, which is not the most fun. So if you've got an idea, something that's not even in the book, feel free to throw it out there, and we can work it out.
Can I guess this is mostly flavor, but can the Dragon Tooth Dagger also be a spell focus?
Sure.
Okay.
Here's a weird question. Would there be some way that I could, like, I don't know, fuse my shield of fire resistance with my armor?
Yeah. You could yeah. It's sort of tricky because the
Narratively.
shield is sort of part of that, like it's a shield from that island, so I feel like you would have to go talk to them. I mean, you could just sort of disenchant it, use the sort of like enchantment that was put on the shield to put that enchantment on your armor, so to speak, but it would cost a lot of money. But it would basically cause like the destruction of that shield you were gifted. So I guess it's a question of would Isolde do that.
Yeah, I don't think she would do that. But you and I should talk, because I want the reason is I want to be able to have the Elmater amulet equipped and the Ring of the Frost Knight from Raynor. And I think my adamantine and my shield are both also attunement, so
adamantine shouldn't be attunement.
Oh.
I mean, I guess maybe +1 is? Let me look. Yeah, it's not attunement. So you should be able to wear your armor. You can't wear your Ring of a Monitor though.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Ooh. Would a ring of spell splitting, be an attunement piece?
Ring of spell splitting.
I saw it on CR. I don't know if it exists in real D&D. So essentially, like twins a spell.
Okay.
It's a single target, double target.
Yeah, it's I guess it is from Critical Role. Allows a caster to target an additional creature when they cast a spell normally target. Okay, so it's basically just like the meta magic. Once per day. Yeah, I think you could get one of those for like 8,000 gold or something.
You got money.
Yeah, if that's something you're interested in, there's also other spell rings out there. I don't know all of them by memory that do all sorts of
I'll
crazy
continue
shit.
to look.
Sure.
But yeah, I figured since I got rid of the Staff of Withering, I have an attunement slot open.
Oh, yeah, and there are options. There are sort of like options in Tasha's, I think, or elsewhere for modifying your wild shape abilities, like adding more damage to them and stuff.
Ooh. Okay.
If you want to come up with those things, I can look into that.
I'll read Tasha's and not waste game time.
Fair enough. Anybody else have questions in this session?
Talk to you over the week about things that I could do to optimize her a little bit more.
Sure. Yeah, I'm always happy to talk about min-maxing characters. It's like my jam.
I think the thing that I'm like most worried about right now is, for whatever reason, she only has 20 AC.
She's not wearing the ring anymore. That got her to 21. You could also buy like a +1 shield or something. Should give you more.
Well, her shield supposedly gives her +2.
Well, that's just base. +2 is what all shields give you.
Oh. Okay, so we could say that like one of the things that happened for this month is maybe she sent her shield to New Valenderland to give it an upgrade or something.
Sure. Yeah. She could send it along and with a big bag of gold and ask them to upgrade it. They could make it a +1 shield.
Okay. Yeah, we'll talk.
Okay. Anybody else want to chat about stuff? I have some stuff planned on Chult, including stuff for Tim's character to do, but maybe
don't worry on my behalf.
Yeah, maybe it'd be more fun to do like a full like everybody's got all their gear and we hop on the boat and we go to Chult and yeah, just for the record, Bob Newman will be driving you guys out there, so.
Nice.
That's gonna be pretty sweet. It's your longest boat trek yet. That should be good, right? Long boat trips have never been a problem for this group.
Nothing bad.
We're
How many
so
seconds
good
we
at
have?
that.
So that'll be fun. We'll fight like 5 krakens along the way. And
Into
Dylan will have to roll up like 3 characters.
I already got them ready, man.
No, I don't
You
think.
should send them to John beforehand, and each of them can be a crew member, so that like when each one dies, we already have a story reason for them to be there.
There you go.
I was just
Or
gonna have
like,
you find a guy washed up in the debris. He happens to be a level 15 fighter. What are the odds?
And a bard.
it's going to be Captain Newman and the crew of backup characters.
I love that.
That's actually the band that he has.
Captain Newman and the backup characters.
Yeah, they play gigs around, not usually for money. It's just to get publicity, really.
Right. A lot of like
they had a
bluegrass, like
party.
indie bluegrass stuff, you know. You probably haven't heard much about it.
Oh yeah, you guys are gonna get to hear Bob Newman's. He's gonna be playing accompaniment for a play in Port Narayanzara, so that's coming up.
Damon told him he'd be there, so, you know.
That in that scene, you will meet the full glory that is Tim's new character.
So ready.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped. So just for narrative stuff, I figured I'd just preface this. So Vosner now has Windwalk, which on paper lets you guys turn into gas forms of yourselves and travel at 300 meters per second. And that literally means you can travel 30 miles an hour. And
Shit.
technically, if you dash, you could travel 60 miles per hour, but in this campaign, I have rules where, like, if you dash more than a minute in a row, it's gonna start causing exhaustion rolls. So, anyways, you guys will basically could travel at 30 miles per hour. And long story short, you could simply travel, like, straight to the center of the island of Cholt. And I'm just gonna tell you now that, like, you can use that form to get around Cholt quickly, but there will be sort of narrative reasons why you guys have to stop off at certain points, partially because I've got cool jungle encounters that I want to throw at you, so, you know, hashtag.
Would
that's
we
just how the
be
game works.
worried?
But what?
Would we be worried about assuming magical forms on an island where magic is fucky?
Potentially. So
Okay.
that's one reason why you might want to take it slow. That said, I do think I don't want to undermine the ability entirely, so I think it will be a way in which you can travel around without, with relative ease. You can get around quickly. It's just not going to be as, unbelievably game-breaking as it is on paper, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Rules as written with this campaign, you guys could, technically, if there weren't narrative things in place, scry on a member of Dragon Squad, use that information to teleport right next to them. Like, at level 13, that is a thing you can do. So, eventually, when you guys are, level 18 or 20, I'm going to be cool with that crazy interdimensional, just flopping teleport places as quickly as you want to. But for now, I'd like to have a little bit of an element of a journey, rather than just superheroes teleporting around fighting shit. If that makes sense.
Sure.
Taryn has put sorcerer into the chat.
Oh yeah, I'm clicking around on my character sheet and I accidentally hit the die, so
Gotcha. Soon you get wings.
I'm so pumped.
I will say the scrying thing is an interesting point, but the way that Isolda's brain works, she figures that if Marin didn't give them a hint as to where they were, he's tried everything and can't figure it out. So she's not even gonna try to scry on them.
Yeah. No, I
It could
think
just be stupidity on her part, but she's
no.
not
If you,
super smart.
we could abstract it out that she tries it and it doesn't work, or Marin told you that he can't scry. That basically, once you get into certain parts of Chult, you can't communicate in or out. It's off the grid.
So dope. The more you describe it, the more I can't wait to get there.
pretty pumped for it too. I got some pretty cool encounters, some cool people, and it's like a vast wasteland of total chaos and death, so it should be pretty fun. And y'all are like gods now, so you'll just probably swat everything back like it's nothing, but
Yeah.
it'll at least be cool.
I mean, as long as we're not Dragon Squad. So.
Right. Well, I mean, their arrogance, is what brought them down, whereas you guys, humble.
We've lost some people, so we know we know loss.
You know loss for sure. You can overcome it. Yeah, and you guys are definitely not heroes, so don't worry about it. I mean, no, I'm just kidding. Burn, sick burn. Nah, you guys are legit heroes now. You saved the North. You saved one town.
One town.
Winton North.
Unton.
Given that it used to be 10 towns, that seems like less of an achievement. But
Einenberger. Yeah, I mean, there's only like one left. There was like 3 left by the time you guys got there, so you only really let 2 die.
Not
And
our
like
fault.
one of them, like we stopped the assault, but everybody left anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was a pretty epic fight. We're gonna have some big old battles like that coming up. Pretty excited about it. It's gonna break everybody's computers. But everybody should be back on normal internet soon. I feel like Dylan's been promising me he'd be back on normal internet for like 3 weeks, but
This is false, but we are coming back down to Florida
okay.
sometime this week, so next week we should be.
Yay! Sorry about you being in Florida, but yay about your internet.
Yeah, mixed feelings.
Florida. Never mind. There's no defending it.
Gert, poor Gert is like the
We'll
only
be
person that's like,
underwater.
I kind of like grew up here.
I mean, I've been in Florida for a long time, but it doesn't mean I defend it.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, well, that's kind of all I've got prepped for this session. Thanks everybody. It's been fun. Sorry it was just basically all narrative and one fight with an assassin who you guys like beat up in 2 rounds.
That was great.
Next session, I promise, will have some encounters in it. Well, depending on how much time you spent talking to Bob Newman on the boat. If you want to talk to him for like 3 hours, I guess we can just do that. But we'll have.
I'm gonna want to role play an entire 12-song set concert with Bob. So
Yeah. Oh, Tim's got that ready, I think.
yeah.
Are you joining in or just watching?
No, I'm just watching, but I'm gonna want to see the whole set.
I also need a life story.
Obviously. Yeah.
Yeah. I also need a power ballad from like 1980s power ballad.
I assume that was gonna be like the encore song.
Yeah.
So long as you all cast some sort of flame spell that you can wave back and forth over your head while I sing.